Hey guys, how's it going? What you see before you is a 2011 late 15-inch Macbook Pro. Why am I videoing what would today be a junk laptop? Well, for many reasons. One, because these things are known to have GPU failures. Now, this system actually made it for 9 years without a single problem. Until this Sunday when we went to run main stage for the first time on this computer. All of a sudden, this thing flipped out. Why? Well, the same thing that's bitten every one of these. GPU. One of the things I want to discuss here is why on earth did Apple design a laptop with great specs except use known defective GPUs, and rather than offer you a replacement to a 2012, they just replaced your logic board with another one with the same defective AMD chip on it. Now, if I boot up this laptop, believe it or not, this one actually is fine. What makes this one fine is because I've actually modified this one to not run the AMD GPU. I used DOS-Dude1's software modification on this one. I've not done the reprogramming of the logic board, but as you can see, if I log into this computer, you see I've got graphics acceleration, everything is working. Until I go to adjust the brightness. Or even better, put the computer to sleep. As you notice, the computer is not falling asleep. Brightness controls don't work. Why? Because this computer has the bad GPU. Believe it or not, this actually bit us Sunday in church. This thing went down. So, I told my pastor, I said, I'll come up with a solution. Well, believe it or not, I come up with a solution, and I'm going to grab the solution to the problem of this laptop. So, Rossman's solution was to pick this thing up, drop it, and get a 2012. Here it is. This is a 2012 mid 13-inch MacBook Pro. This thing works just fine. This, believe it or not, in my opinion, was one of the best laptops ever made by Apple. And partially because they're so ubiquitous, they're easy to get their hands on. So while this one works with the GPU modifier on it, I just don't trust it to hold up through being ran, some heavy applications on it and all that. So what I did is I made a fix to the entire problem by just grabbing another laptop. Believe it or not, I actually bought this one off of eBay for like $100. I stole this thing off of eBay. I paid $100 for it. I put 8 gigabytes of memory and an SSD in it. It does have a couple of defects, like for instance, you see part of the keyboard doesn't light up. Not a big deal for us. It's got a few dents here and there, but well, so does the 2011. So, this laptop is ready to rock and roll. When we take this to church on Sunday, we'll be able to use this with our software, and I'll be taking it tomorrow to set it up on stage with the hardware part of our main stage rig. So, part of the reason why I wanted to make this video is to say, hey, if you have a 2011, don't go buy logic boards or anything like that. Just find yourself a good deal. And as you can see, sleep function works properly. If I wake the machine back up, it does return from a sleep. Brightness controls work flawlessly. So if you run into an issue with your 2011 15-inch and you just need a Mac, you don't necessarily need a 15-inch Mac, I would recommend getting a mid-2012. If the 2011 runs everything, the 2012 will run it just as good. Also, if you have to have a 15-inch, Rossman Group did tell me to get a 15-inch 2012. The reason is, those machines are more reliable. The GPU chips in them are not defective, and they're just all around a better machine. 2011 was a bad year for Apple. 2012, freaking great year. So, pick yourself up a 2012. I would also recommend staying away from 2013 MacBook Pros, as the 13-inch Retina 13 MacBook Pro only had 4 gigs of memory. So be careful when buying. I would recommend a 14 or a 15 13-inch or 15-inch MacBook Pro. Just be careful. Do your research before you buy your next product. Ignore the dog in the background. So in this case, my church is now back up and running because I was actually willing to sacrifice this laptop because I got a new Dell laptop. But this laptop here, well, it'll live in the pits of hell where it belongs. So we'll actually go ahead and shut this thing back down. And one of the issues was like, I did not get the immediately apparent GPU issues, but this one has the GPU defect. It's done its damage. So, to my pastor, here's your new main stage rig. And to everybody else, thank you for watching. Feel free to leave a comment if you have one. Subscribe, like, and favorite. Do all that jazz. And also, have a good new year. Buy Meyer products.